I want to say something, and you tell me what image comes to your mind. 1995.
Fun. It was the most fun I've ever had in my life. Not even close. We had worked so hard as a team to get to that point. It was just a blast. I mean, from walking out of the locker room in South Bend all the way to the Rose Bowl and eating, because I wasn't playing, like as many In-N-Out burgers as I could, and setting a personal goal to gain 20 pounds. I mean, I just had a great time. Outside of getting married, having children, it's probably the most fun I've ever had in my life.
You mentioned the broken leg means you didn't get to play in the Rose Bowl, but you went.
Yeah.
What happened when you walked out of that tunnel?
The first memory I have is walking in the tunnel and just how dark it was. And then you could kind of start to see the field and the San Gabriels as you're coming out of the tunnel. And then they hit the field, and right there in front of us, the end zone was purple and white. And I'm not going to lie, I started crying. It was a childhood dream to play in the Rose Bowl. A Chicago guy, growing up wanting to be a Big Ten football player, then to achieve that goal and dream, it was surreal. Well, we get an opportunity as head coaches to go. I'm not going to go until we go as a team. So I haven't been back.
Before you got into coaching, you spent a year in the business world.
Yeah, about 6. I wouldn't call it a year. It was about 6 months. Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was doing sales, radio sales here in Chicagoland. It was a great gig. I mean, it was good money, and went to the Super Bowl, and the Bulls were pretty good during that time period. So the fringe benefits were ridiculous. The people were unbelievable. But I was missing the worst drug in the world called football, and I was just kind of out of the cycle. I got cut late by the Cowboys, I guess the second to last cut, and worked out for the Saints, was going to go work out for a couple other teams, and over a 2-week period kind of made a decision, hey, I'm not going to make a team in shorts. Let's go to plan B.
Favorite part about Evanston?
I would say my biggest memory back when I was here was just the change in the culture of our campus and the school pride that came out through that 2-year run of going 15-1 in the Big Ten. And then to see how it's now morphed into the expectation on our campus, and especially just seeing where it was when I first got here.
How similar as a coach are you to Randy Walker, and are you to Gary Barnett?
You cut me up into thirds. I'd say 1/3 Coach Walk, 1/3 Coach Barnett, and 1/3 me. And with me comes my high school coaches and my family and my grade school coaches. I think everything I experienced, my teammates, our current players. When everything unfortunately happened with Coach Walk, one of the first people I tried to get in touch with was Coach Paterno. And I asked him, I said, so give me some advice. And he said, well, if I were your age right now, I'd be fired because nobody knows what I did when I was in my 30s, And so, okay, Coach, that doesn't help.
Right.
Can you give me something to chew on here? And he said, yeah, be yourself. Be yourself. And I think that's what I would best describe me. I'm not trying to be somebody else. I'm not trying to be Coach Barnett. I'm not trying to be Coach Walker. I'm trying to use the great things that they taught me that I was fortunate enough to see, hear, ask questions, and learn from. Number one was their humility, and number two was their honesty. Those two men, it wasn't about them. It was about the program. It was about the players. It was about the university, and they just tried to instill a discipline into the players to make them be the most successful they possibly could be. And to me, that's something I think I try to take from both of them on a daily basis.
You spoke at Randy's funeral.
Yeah.
How hard was that?
Well, it was pretty emotional when Tammy asked me, to be quite honest with you. I didn't play for Coach. I had only worked for Coach for a short amount of time. It really kind of rocked me to the core from a standpoint that, honestly, my faith was being challenged at that time. And to have that honor was humbling, to say the least. And hopefully I raised Coach up in what I shared. I spoke from my heart. I spoke from what I believed in, and I think I spoke from where Coach would believe that we needed to go. And I don't know if I did well or not, but it was arguably one of the hardest days of my life. But that pales in comparison to what Tammy and Jamie and Abby and the Walker family and our players were going through, and everyone that Coach touched.